Have you ever noticed that when we started creating these tables, the relationships between them, and you go back and you open up the table like I have here, the customers table in the datasheet view, how they have a column here with a bunch of little plus signs next to each record? Well, when you click on one of these plus signs, it automatically expands and opens up its related record in the other table. In this case, it's the orders table. By default, Microsoft Access, when you start creating relationships, will define or automatically insert subdatasheets, or what it calls subdatasheets. Subdatasheets, think of it this way, are datasheets within datasheets, like tables within tables, that are related and can be expanded to view their related data. So what's the relationship between the customers table and the orders table? Well, if you recall, when you create the relationships, you go to the Database Tools tab, click on the Relationships button, and here I have a couple of tables that I've created thus far, the relationships. So I have my customers table. Let me do a quick review here of what we've got going on. We've got the customers table here, and it's linked to the billing info. In other words, for each customer that I have, the company name, I call it customer name, maybe I should call it company name, but for each company I have somebody directly within that company that I'm going to be billing, and I have an account number, and I want to send that bill to that person directly. And I don't have 20 people at that company I want to bill. That's why I have a one-to-one relationship. There can be no duplicates. I don't want 20 people at this company name here that I'm going to be billing. No, just one account person and their accounting department that I'm keeping track of in a separate table. So that's why I have the billing information table. So I have a one-to-one relationship. In other words, I have like a customer number, ID, whatever unique ID I want to give that customer, like let's say 2020. It's going to be over here, and it's going to have the same data type, which is a number field, and it's going to have the exact same ID for that customer, 2020, and then I'm going to have the date of the first order, the contact name, Brett Johnson over here, first name and last name, the account number. Okay, so there's the link between the customers and the billing info table. I also have a link, which is a one-to-many, from the customers table to the orders table. Again, the customers table has the basic company name and address. The orders is all the orders that company has made from us. So each time a company makes an order, it's going to be a unique order ID. There can be no duplicates. It's going to be like an auto number generated. Every time somebody makes an order, it's going to be the next consecutive number, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Even if it's from a totally different customer. If one customer makes an order, let's say it's order number 6, the next customer from another company is going to make another order. That'll be order number 7. So that's going to be unique here. And I've got the order date that they made the order, the item number, the quantity. So how do I go ahead and relate the orders to the customers? Well, what I do is I put in a foreign key here that links up the customer ID to the orders here. So in other words, every time that we enter in a new order, I'm going to enter in the customer ID. Now it has to be a customer ID that I've already created in the customers table, like if it's again 2020 or something. So when I create an order, I put in the order ID, maybe it's order number 10 or 12, and then I put in the order date, what item that they ordered, the quantity 20, 30, and then the customer ID. I'm like, oh yeah, we have a customer ID 2020. Oh, what, you're a new customer? Okay, hold on. Let me go to the customers table, go ahead and enter in all the information. And the new customer number can't be a duplicate of somebody else we already have on file, so we'll do 2021. So I put in the customer information first, then I come back in and then I say, okay, let me take your order. So we go ahead and we type in a new customer ID, which is 2021. Okay, and that's how I link them up, because once I type it in here, 2021, it's automatically going to come up here and it's going to relate to the 2021 in here, and that's how we link the information up. Because this table is separate, I just want to keep track of all the orders. And you can have many duplicates of the customer ID in here. That's why it's a many, and that's why it's not the primary key in this table. It's the foreign key field. Because think about it. If I have orders, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one customer from Bob's Construction Company, let's say their orders are 1, 3, 5, and 7. Well, the customer ID is going to be duplicated in that they're going to be on the order 1, 3, 5, and 7. So I better have duplicate orders because I want the customer to continuously make orders, right? Okay. But I only want one customer unique to that company's name. Sure, there may be some companies with the exact same names, it's rare, but even if they are, the customer name isn't unique, isn't the primary key. It can contain duplicates, but the ID can't. It's like having people's first name and last names. A lot of them are probably the same, but as long as they have a social security number, we're fine. We can at least uniquely identify them by their name, social security number, maybe even their date of birth with all that information. Well, social security number definitely. So here's what I've got. I've got these tables related, right? Once I create the relationships, these tables, when I open them up, Microsoft Access is going to start creating subdata sheets where you can expand them and actually view the details in another table that it's directly related to. And that's great for tables. At least right now that works well for us, okay? And later on, if we want to pull data from tables that aren't directly related, like these two aren't, they're indirectly related through the customers table, we can use queries to get what we want. But for right now, to keep it simple, we're just going to go ahead and view those tables and their subdata sheets with the tables they're directly related to. So I've got my customers table. When I click on the plus sign, expand it, it opens up its related record in the orders table. Now I have a couple of questions. First of all, I have the customer ID here in the customers table. Makes sense, right? Okay, when I click on the plus sign and expand it, where's the customer ID in its related table? Because when I look at the relationships here, isn't the customer ID right here? When I open up the orders table, double click on it, isn't the customer ID right here? Well, the reason why, let me go back to the customer tables. Well, the reason why Access doesn't add that customer ID in again, its related foreign key, is because it's duplicate data. Don't want to confuse you. You don't even need it. Because think of it this way. Customer ID is already here, 31201. Why put it down here again, 31201? I mean, it's duplicating itself. You don't need to do that and slow down your system here when you're pulling it up, and also slow you down where you have to go through an extra field, as it were. The second question I have, which I pretty much already answered, is that why is it that this customer table linked to the order ID? When I go back to the relationships, why didn't Access figure it out or let me directly link it to the billing info instead of the orders table? Based upon the relationships and how they're directly related, one to many, Access decided to go and just create a direct subdata sheet to the orders table. So when I'm coming back to my customers table, that's what it sees, okay? In addition, let me go ahead and collapse that. When I go to the orders table, there's no plus signs, right? Let's go back to the relationships. I'm at the orders table. It's coming in one to many, and it's not going out many to one. Access is saying, look, we're not going to go ahead and set this subdata sheet up for you. Think of it this way. Every time you open up an order, do you want to see it's relating customer, name, number, and ID? Well, if you want to, we can go ahead and create that subdata sheet if you'd like. In other words, the defaults that Microsoft Access is set up are just that, defaults, and you can add subdata sheets as well as remove the ones that are already in there. For example, I come to the orders table. To add a subdata sheet, you want to come up here in the Home tab, on the Home tab, to the Records group and click on the More button. Come down to Subdata Sheet, go over and left click on Subdata Sheet. Brings up a bunch of tables here. Now remember, we're keeping in mind the relationships that we have. What is the orders table directly related to? Well, the customers. In fact, if I click on customers, it automatically populates and knows that those fields are linked and they have the same data type, and so it populates it for us. We don't have to select it. In fact, if you click on another field like the billing info isn't directly related. Remember, when I click cancel and I come to the relationships, this billing info is not directly related. It's indirectly related through the customers table, which doesn't bode really well for subdata sheets. I mean, you can still try to link them up, but to keep it simple here, we're just going to do direct relationships here. Back to the orders table. Again, the More button, to the subdata sheet, to subdata sheets. When you come through here, anytime you click on a table and automatically populates the fields for you, you're good to go. What's the difference between master and child? Well, the master is the current table that you're in, the master field, and this child is the one that you want to link it to. So I'm in the orders table, that's going to be the master field. In fact, if you click on the drop down arrow, you see all the fields here, master field, I mean the order ID, order date, there's the order ID, order date, and so on. So I'm going to go click on the customer ID. The subdata sheet, or the one that we want to link it to, the child, when you click on it, because I have customers table selected, it's listing all the fields within the customer table, but it knows that it's directly related, these fields, together, so it automatically populated it for us. So if I click OK, boom, it's there, okay? So all I have to do is just come over here and click on one of these plus signs and it expands it. It says, look, for order 11, it was the company named Roadsters. They're the one who are tied to order number 11. Click on the plus sign, which is interesting because the Roadsters also have additional orders, apparently besides order 11, including 11 that we see here, 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 37. Then when you click on the plus sign on 11, it says it was made by Roadsters. When you click on the plus sign again, it says, well, Roadsters has all these orders. I mean, you can go on a snake eating its own tail, the infinity, over and over again, so that can be kind of annoying. And I can see why now Access doesn't want to create a subdata sheet from a many-to-one relationship, whereas, back to our relationships, is going to create it from one to many. Okay. Back to our orders table. This becomes messy. Let me go ahead and collapse that. You have additional options here when you click on the More button, when you go to the subdata sheet, to expand all. And then if you click in the subdata sheet, you can come back to More, to subdata sheets, to expand all, and expand all those subdatas within those subdatas within, boy, you can just keep going. So let me go back and go to More, to Subdata, to collapse all, and then I just need to make sure that I'm in the subdata sheet to collapse all those subdata sheets before I want to click More, to Subdata, to collapse all. And then I want to make sure that I click in the main view here, and then go up to More, to Subdata, to collapse all those subdata sheets, and then of course I can go to More, to Subdata sheet to just remove them. What about the billing info table? That's going to be interesting. Remember, in the relationships, we have billing info that's directly related to the customers. Let's double click on billing info and let's see what Access did here. Well, they created Subdatasheets when we click on it. We have Bob Johnson, who's the accountant over there at StarTemps, okay? So it gives us the direct relationship in the customer table field. But then also we know that the customers also have orders. So when you click on the plus sign, it lists all the orders and it ends there. That's pretty cool. I like that. Now, keep in mind that you're not just viewing. In other words, you can actually update, make changes in here, like the quantity. Instead of 15, what if we said it was 14 and hit the down arrow key? Automatically saves it. So it automatically updates the order table here, at least the order here for the item number A11014. So let's see, it's order 32. Shall we go to the orders table and look at 32 here? There it is. It used to be 15, now it's 14. So again, when you're in these sub-datasheet views like we were in the billing info, any changes you make is going to automatically update the table there. And in this case, it updated the orders table, the order ID specifically 32 with the new quantity 14. I can come up here and click on the minus sign to collapse it. One final thing is that, again, this is a process. I'm showing you and working you from the rough tools that we have, sledgehammers to break down the rock here. And as you understand the basic operation of tables, I'm going to take you into queries, which you're going to be able to have more refined tools quicker and faster to get what you want out of the tables. Instead of using a sledgehammer, you'll be using a jackhammer. We'll show you the quick shortcuts of how to slice through all this data to get exactly what you need. Because right now, when I go ahead and I want to look at related records or sub-datasheets in this case, it pulls up all the fields. Well, sometimes I don't want to have all the fields and have to scroll through and sort through all of it. I don't need the fax number, the phone number, the postal code. Maybe I don't even need the customer name, as it were. I just want to link the contact up here and pull up the direct contact name at the accountant, Bob Johnson, to the order, so I can call Bob Johnson and say, you're the accountant, you did order these, you do have to pay on them. Okay, so that means I can bypass this whole intermediary table, but they have to be linked. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.